Hey, I'm Seth with Land House. Thank you so much for watching this video. My solar panels back here were purchased about 5 years before filming this video, and they've actually been installed here on the hill for about 1.5 years. I had this idea of taking power from the sun to the house, but just did not have the funds to get all the electronics. Well, that has changed, and now it's time to talk about the solar panel install here for the house. So this begins the series on getting this installed. Let me show you what I've got here. I first used some post hole diggers to dig my 4 posts for these panels to be mounted into. And so you can see I've got them in a specific place here on the hill. I actually downloaded an app and used that app to find the position of the sun in most of the year. And so that's where that angle came from. So the next thing I did was I mounted a couple of 2x6s on the post. So I've got 2 4x6s that I already had, and then I've got a couple of these here 4x4s, and then so the 2x6s went on that just with some little bolts here. Nothing too serious, as you can see, just enough to hold that on there. And then whenever I got the panels installed, I used this unistrut, which you can buy at Lowe's, and I had an idea for the brackets. Instead of paying an arm and a leg for the brackets, I just made my own, and to do that, I used some all thread and cut it to specific lengths here, and just a piece of aluminum underneath, and that allowed me to make brackets to hold this unistrut onto the 2x6 without having to buy some super crazy expensive bracket.
I'm using these homemade brackets to attach the unistrut, as you can see here. It just goes up through and screws in tight, and it's going to be able to hold this on there quite well. And it's much cheaper than having to buy a bracket to fit around a 2x6. I used clamps to support the panel while I was getting it up here. Made a huge difference because one time it slid and caught on those clamps. Definitely nice to have.
And the solar panels have mounting locations already on them, and so I just used a couple of bolts and washers into that unistrut. And because the way the unistrut is mounted onto the boards, I can move this left or right, up or down to find the place where that needs to attach. So anyway, it worked out really well. It was a simple and easy solution to get this together. This hill is so slippery. To put it into perspective of how long these have been sitting here, my son Arrow, who is over at the house, wasn't born yet when I got these installed. What you doing? He's so cute. The angle is set here mostly due south, and it has an angle that's kind of in between summer and winter sun, so it will get the best in the fall and spring, but will get the other times of the year just as well. So for the wiring harness that's under here, I basically just took the 4 panels and strung them all together. So positive to negative as I went along here. Let's go over here and I'll show you what that kind of looks like. So here is the positive of this panel, and it is just hanging loose here with the MC4 connector. But the negative of this one goes into the positive of this one over here. It's kind of hard for you to see that, but anyway, my panels have the positive negative signs indicated here on the box. So it just continues on along. So negative positive until you get to this other panel right here, where the negative is coming out with the other side of the MC4 connector there. And those two will be connected to my black and red wires that will go down this post and over to the house. Alright, that's how I installed the solar panels. Quite simple. Just a couple of, basically you can just use 4x4s with 2x6 cross pieces, unistrut with all thread brackets, and then just use a series of nuts and bolts to get those panels locked down. And I'm wanting 136 volts coming into the house from the DC panels, and that's why I've got all 4 of those strung together, positive to negative, and I'll have just the 2 outs coming to the house. All right, so the next video we'll be talking about getting the wire to the house, so stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.